I have obviously lived lesser than you have, but for me, I see that now because I have access to devices and I read a lot online. I do see that there are, like, when I look at it as a layman, I think per day I see more and more active wars coverage than I saw when I was a kid or a teen. Like, you could hear about, you would, like, the last time I heard about a massive war was in Syria, right, with Assad, where they were actually killing their people and tons of things were happening. Uske baad I heard a bit about the Yemeni people, and then Russia Ukraine happens, Israel Palestine, Gaza, Iran, the whole shebang happens. We were flying over Ethiopia, and Abhijit, the other Abhijit, told me कि यहाँ war चल रहा है, Eritrea में war चल रहा है,
Yes,
यहाँ war
yes.
चल रहा है. I'm like, what are you saying? Are we actually in a time where there are the most number of active wars in the world? More than the last 10, 20 years?
Definitely in the last 10, 20 years, yes. I mean, there have been times in the past where there have been wars that no one knew about. Okay? There have been wars that have been suppressed and you did not know about it. For example, the Angola conflict that went on for so many decades. That was a civil war. There have been civil wars all across Africa, coups, regime changes, coup d'etats, civil wars, inter-country wars. There have been wars in South America as well that nobody knows about. A war over a football match also once happened, things like that. So there have been wars that have always been going on, small wars, isolated wars, but nobody really paid attention to those wars. But in today's era where every little thing is scrutinized, I think we are right now living through a phase of significant tensions in the world. Like you said, there's the Ukraine conflict happening, which is kind of a frozen conflict right now. There is the whole Middle East scenario, Israel, Gaza, and also the Iran angle as well. There's Yemen happening, there's the Houthis happening, there is the situation in Somalia, the pirate situation. There are certain conflicts, like you said, in Eritrea. That's kind of a civil war kind of situation. And if you go further east, you have the Korea situation. There's again hostilities happening between North Korea and South Korea. So overall, it's a very heightened amount of tension that we are seeing in various parts of the world. So yeah, it's like that. But if you ask me, my context is the past 3,000 years. Okay, there have been periods of all kinds of turmoil and whatnot in the world, but it's never been the kind of breakneck pace of change that we are seeing right now. It's never been like that, especially when you have so much high technology that's involved, which is a catalyst for change.
War modifies so fast, and it like day one and day two of a war are very different.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at the Ukraine war, how it started and how it's going now. The technology that you had being deployed on the battlefield on day one of the war, and the technology you have deployed today is tremendously different. You have these loitering munitions and robotic drones and whatnot you have today, which was not there on day one. So it's changed in just 2 years. The entire rules of warfare have changed.